Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at some gameplay that got sent to me with the Shadow Salamence in the Ultra League Premier Cup. This gameplay, they said as well, sent to other content creators, so if you see it before or afterwards on other channels, sorry about this. Usually I like to have everything here on this channel exclusive, but yeah, here we're going to take a look at some very spicy battles with a rank 1 Shadow variant of this Pokemon, which is quite ridiculous to get, for the Ultra League at least here, and we're going to see a double water backline. We're going to have a double weakness to fairy type Pokemon as well. Let's see if this is going to be an issue, but they said as well that they got like 5-0 set with this team, which is kind of mad. So let's see how this is going to go. We have the normal variant of the Feraligatr and the normal variant of the Poliwrath, which is going to be better in this scenario because it can take 2 hits from the opponent. And also you can go for some neutral damage with the Crunch here, which might be kind of good for you, as this is going to be able to connect and gonna get them low, get the defense drop, which is quite nice, I want to say, but doesn't really help you too much as the opponent is still gonna get to another charge move. You can go for the counter down here against the opponent, but now it's Poliwrath against the rest of the world. So let's see what the opponent going to have in the back. It's going to be the Typhlosion with Shadow Claw. So they try to go for the Thunder Punch very likely here, which is going to be okay for you as you're going to hit the charge move anyway. This game is over. Goodbye, opponent. The next opponent is actually someone that I know from Twitter as well, and I think I showcased some teams already on this channel as well, so very good play here for sure, like one of the best players in the world for PvP for sure. So let's see how they can deal with the Shadow Salamence now with the new move Fly, as we will see a nice overfarm here. Fly is coming through, they're very likely going to use a shield. You might want to catch the next move on like one of your other Pokemon here. You try to do it, didn't work out, but you can use another shield here on your Salamence. Icy Wind is coming through, you can chunk away the health from the opponent and you can now swap out and keep the energy for later on, which might be a very good shout as the opponent seems to be maybe weak against the opponent. Like the Salamence in the back, we're going to find out shortly because they stayed in the lead as well. We're going to see the charge coming through, Hydro Cannon would knock them out, and it does knock them out as they're going to have a Dragalge in the back. And so you can still reach the Crunch. It is not going to get a shield here for sure. The opponent for sure knows that, oh, it does get a shield, never mind. Then you would be able to knock them out with a Outrage here. I don't think a Fly is enough, but maybe I underestimate the damage output. Let's find out. Yeah, as expected, it is not enough, but you're still going to be fine here, as you can take a charge move. I don't think... Is it yet an Outrage? It is an Outrage already. Does way less damage than I expected, and all the moves are resisted unless it's going to be a Dynamic Punch. It's the Icy Wind, and so that is a game. Next opponent that I also know from Twitter, which is kind of hilarious. You're going to encounter a Meganium here, which is going to be a great matchup for you, especially now in the lead, as you're going to see the Feraligatr swapping in. Also perfect, because you should be able to align yourself with that Poliwrath. Poliwrath has crazy good bulk here as well, plus you're going to be able to just counter them down as you resist all the charge move damage from the opponent. And also, because you can just counter them down, you have some Icy Wind stored now for the Meganium, making it completely useless for the opponent here as well, as we will see another Icy Wind coming through. You might be even able to align your Salamence again here before the Switch Choke is coming up, but I feel like, yeah, it's not going to work out for you. The opponent makes a great play here as well, but still going to catch the incoming Icy Wind here, which is going to be quite awkward for them, as they're going to have to deal with the Feraligatr now. I think at this point they should know this game is over. There is nothing, yeah, the opponent can do here, like literally nothing. I think was it like a triple starter team from the Johto region? I think it was, but it is what it is. We can move on to the next opponent. Let's see what they're going to run. And Goodra in the lead. This is going to be interesting. Charge your phone here as well. Apparently battery is kind of running low, but you can still reach that Fly in time. Like the opponent would have definitely been able to reach at least an Awkward Tail in time, but they just decided to go for the full farm down. I guess going to the Punchy Boy might be the right call. Exactly, Punchy Boy is going to have the better option here because it can debuff whatever comes in, which is quite nice. Power Up coming through, and they swap out as well, which is even better for you because you can go straight for the Icy Wind, but not before they can go for the charge move. So maybe now a Scald is even better for you. Let's see what you're gonna do. You still decide to go for the Icy Wind. Just gonna go for the full farm down afterwards, I think, as this is going to get the opponent into a range for sure where you can counter them down, I think. Going to be an interesting one. Let's find out. Hydro Cannon coming through. I think you have to throw, or you have to swap out. Yeah, sadly, that is kind of not ideal for you, but at least you can still get some energy on both of your Pokemon. Crunch coming through, gonna get the defense drop, kind of unfortunate for you, but let's see what's coming in next. It's going to be the Typhlosion. So many Typhlosion here today. You're gonna go for not the full farm down, but it doesn't really matter anyway. You have a shield left, you have a lot of energy, the opponent does not get to 2 charge moves in time, and so this game is over, especially if you still have a Scald stored on that Poliwrath. No chance for the opponent here to do anything. The only play was to farm you down. It didn't work out, and we can move on to the next opponent. Another player that I know actually, which is kind of hilarious. So like you battle against a lot of very good battlers here. Those are all people that I know that are actually really good at the game. So like no low elo rank battles here with the rank 1 variant of the Salamence. It's like really high elo range. If there would be an elo range right now, because we're currently still in the early ranks. 13% of your phone there, kind of nice information to know. But the Venusaur comes in. Let's see if they're going to use a shield. Unlikely, to be fair, because you're not Shadow. And yeah, exactly. They would be able to survive one Ice Beam anyway, so like it doesn't really matter for the opponent. You could use a shield because you got the drop here, and you do decide to use a shield. So you could align yourself if you really wanted to. You definitely would be able to align yourself, but you might have to give up another shield here, which you're going to be able to do. So alignment is kind of key for you apparently. As the Venusaur is going to go down, we will see the Tentacruel coming back in, and he can retaliate with a Crunch here. This Crunch is going to maybe get a drop again. Oh, it doesn't get a drop, which is kind of unfortunate, but he can catch the move here. A great play for sure, catching the move. The Scald is coming through, not going to knock you out because the opponent decides to make a very interesting play. Like either knock them out and then like align yourself afterwards, or I don't know why they like switch lock themselves into a Steelix, but that is going to be great for you because you're still going to have the Icy Wind and the Scald Pressure plus counter from the Poliwrath. This is going to be a great matchup, especially as you're going to get the shield bait correctly. The opponent had to call the bait there, to be fair. Psychic Fangs coming through, not going to be enough for them as you can't just reach that Scald. There should be enough to knock out the opponent's Steelix. Let's find out here. Is it going to be enough? It is enough, and so the Tentacruel has no way to win this game, and we can move on to the next opponent. So, Venusaur in the lead. This is going to be a crazy good lead, honestly, for you. Like, that's definitely something that you want to see. Sludge Bomb is still going to be scary. You might want to use a shield and try to align yourself in the 2-shield scenario as you can farm them down with that Dragon Tail, and that's exactly what you're going to try to do. You are still throwing here on the CMP tie, which I like, because it's forcing a shield from the opponent as well first, and you can just use a shield now again, and just decide to go for the full farm down while maintaining a ton of energy. As the opponent swaps out into their own Dragonite, it is maybe worth it for you to swap into your Feraligatr, or both of them are fine, to be fair, like both of them are kind of fine. I guess this Pokemon can take the hits a little bit easier, but you would take a little bit longer to go for the charge move, so it's kind of equal, to be fair. Like, there is no wrong play here. Of course, Icy Wind is going to be double super effective, but Hydro Cannon would have done the deal as well. We're going to see here the Talonflame coming in, and you can outspeed them to the Scald, which is kind of ginormous, as this is going to be able to maybe even drop the opponent's attack, which it does not, but it's going to be fine because they can go for the Flame Charge. Doesn't really matter, they can get a free... Why do they swap? Like, this was like the whole plan of them undercharging, wasn't it? To get like a free Incinerate in? Honestly, I just don't know sometimes. But anyway, this was the 5-0 set, I think, exactly, and we can move on to the next set. And there was actually one battle from the set earlier on already in here, because I sent like one battle separately for whatever reason. But as you're gonna see, the Ampharos is going to swap in here after having a great lead against the Greninja. Brutal Swing is going to be a move that you're definitely going to shield up. Like, definitely good for you that you get this Pokemon out of the way, because Greninja has no play against the Poliwrath. Yes, it can catch a Brutal Swing, I guess, but like, would have not been smarter for you to just go into the 2-shield scenario, just take the shield disadvantage, instead of just getting rid of the hardest answer for the Poliwrath. I guess you're gonna go for the ballsy play and hope that they don't have the correct move here, which is very good for you because they didn't. But a lot of people are running currently Thunder Punch plus the what's called the other move, Brutal Swing. So that's kind of good for you that they didn't run the Thunder Punch. But as you're gonna see here, great play as well against the Ninetales, getting the guaranteed buff first, debuff here first with the charge move of the Icy Wind, and then getting the Scald off afterwards, because otherwise you would have not been able to get that Scald off. So well played there, but I feel like you're going to struggle a little bit here now as you were not able to align yourself correctly. And yeah, so the Greninja is going to be able to knock you out here, and I think this is going to be a tough one to come back from. Or maybe, I think it's actually still fine. You have to overcharge here. Definitely you have to overcharge quite a bit, or like overfarm here quite a bit. As the Night Stage is coming through, they're gonna get the boost. That is going to be awkward. Like, this is definitely going to be game-changing, as Night Stage is going to do way more damage now. I think you're still going to be fine, actually. I think you're still going to be able to win this game. This is going to knock them out, and I think the Green Ninja goes down anyway. So yeah, you're still going to be fine here. I feel like you could have played a little bit safer, but it is what it is. We can move on to the next opponent after this chart move finally lands. So, next one. Salamence against the Feraligatr. This is going to be a matchup that you're definitely going to be able to win in the 2-shield scenario just because your Dragon Tail damage is just hitting so hard. Like, honestly, the damage output of the Shadow Salamence is so great. Hydro Cannon, nice call there, is still going to do a million damage though. So, like, this did not really help you out too much, but you can at least get some skulls fired off against the opponent's Tentacruel. With the debuffs, this would be a decent matchup still for you, but you didn't get the debuff, and this is just going to be either the Acid Spray, or, yeah, okay, that's going to be the Acid Spray or the Scald. Acid Spray going to drop the defense here harshly, which is kind of awkward for the scenario here in general. And you don't get the debuff again. Oh, forgot, never mind. Scald is now 30%, not 50%. I'm still in the mode where I kind of think that every Scald can has a debuff, which is not the case anymore, luckily. So, yeah, never mind. Like, don't even mind me there at this point, because, yeah, I was still thinking it's 50%, but this season it got nerfed finally, and it's only 30% now, which is kind of good for everybody. Anyway, Feraligatr going to be able to go for their own Hydro Cannon. You let the move go through, which is kind of ballsy. You're going to go for the full farm now, I would imagine. Of course, you have to use the shield now. They're going to swap out for sure now. Let's see what's coming in. It's going to be a Greed, and that's going to be unfortunate. I think this is most likely going to be a loss here. Greedent is just too bulky. Like, it's just too bulky. This Pokemon is just insane. You're actually going to be forced to let the next move go through as well here, which is going to be that Body Slam. And hope that your Salamence can somehow deal with it. But Salamence will not be able to deal with it. Like, spoiler alert, it's definitely not going to be able to. It's just too... maybe you can. Depends on how much damage this Fly is going to do here against the opponent. Oh, it's going to be, yeah, like, this was not supposed to be a CMP tie anyway. Was kind of looking a little bit weird. Oh, they catch the move. No, I think it still would have been a loss anyway, because, yeah, they would have been able to Shadow Claw you down. So, like, it doesn't really matter that they called the move, but still, kind of unfortunate. I would have liked to see the Fly land here, but let's move on to the next opponent. Second to last battle here, we're going to have the Skeledirge in the lead, which would be a great matchup, and Ampharos is going to be even a better matchup for you, as you're going to be able to get so much damage on them. That damage output was insane. I think you can just use a shield and farm them all the way down without having to shield another time. Or you swap out and then you have to definitely get hit by another charge move. You would have been able to just farm them all the way down, by the way. Like, there was Trailblaze coming through here as well, which is kind of annoying. But you would have needed 3 Dragon Tails, which is 9 turns. And if everything works well, like, there's of course currently the inconsistency that sometimes doesn't work out, you would have been able to farm them down before they get to another charge move. But as you're gonna see here, Poliwrath is still going to take advantage of that opponent's Skeledirge, as they can reach that Disarming Voice. They need one more fast move to get up to their Shadow Ball, and they are now at the Shadow Ball as they swap out into their own Feraligatr. You going for the Crunch here is definitely going to be a very good play for you, as this might get the drop of their defense, which it doesn't, but it's gonna get them very low, and so you can let the move go through, swap out into your Salamence here, and just go for the Fly and try to get the shield from the opponent. Maybe full farm down would have been also a play here, but as you're gonna see, you're going to use a shield, let the move go through, fine as well. I think both are kind of fine options. You're forced to go for another charge move though here, as the opponent has currently, I think, 65 energy on their other Pokemon, on the Skeledirge. You're forced to use a shield. I think this is going to be a loss, sadly. I think they can just swap out of here and, yeah, knock you out. I think your play was to use a shield on the Salamence instead. I think this would be the way of you winning the game, but let's move on to the final battle of today. Some things that you definitely can still improve on the gameplay in terms of how to play out some matchups, but again, like, it's always easier, by the way, for me commentating over it without any pressure, without being in the situation itself, to commentate and see, like, okay, what is the best way of playing those matchups. when you play yourself, you know it for yourself as well. Like, it's not always as easy to really tell that kind of stuff. And so I don't really want to blame anybody if they are like some obvious plays that at least would be most likely better, because like, yeah, it's always easier to find those afterwards. It's always something that you can see afterwards quite easily, but it is what it is. Here we're gonna see the Credilli. Credilli, a very interesting Pokemon. You kind of want to use a shield here, as a Grass Knot does around like 60 to 70% of your health. It won't knock you out, but like still, you rather keep that health on the Poliwrath, as you're gonna see the opponent's Poliwrath coming in. And with this, it's actually kind of an interesting matchup for you. You're gonna get them kind of low. Again, no drop here of Scald, 30% chance definitely is kind of visible in terms of not getting those debuffs. But you can now guarantee debuff what they had in the back there. But I guess you don't want to. You could have just went for the Icy Wind and would have had like a better time with that. I guess you can keep the Scald as well, which might help you out for the end game now, and just go for the Scald, knock them out. Like, it's not a bad play. Like, it's not a bad play. Like, both of them are going to be okay. Here you can even go for another charge move no matter what. So like, this game is over. Easy victory here. But still, that's going to be it for this video. Thanks all for watching this. Thanks for sending in those spells. Again, if other content creators go into showcases as well, sorry for having multiple times this kind of video here, but hopefully you still enjoyed it. See you then, bye bye.